Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips to help you start on varsity. Now, the first thing you need to understand if you're an underclassman and you want to start on varsity is that optional means mandatory. So anytime that there are optional lifts in the off season, optional practices, optional team events, that actually means that they are mandatory. Sometimes programs, coaches, they're only allowed, like legally, I guess you could say, a certain amount of hours with players. So they throw in a lot of optional workouts because that doesn't fall under that umbrella of the hours that they have with you guys, whether that's practice time, watching film, whatever the case may be. So if something is optional, you need to be there. Optional does not mean optional, it means mandatory. Now, before we get into the second tip to help you guys to start on varsity, if you're a quarterback or a wide receiver and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this offseason, we are coming out to 9 more states across the country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps. Next up on our camp tour, we're coming out to Nashville, Tennessee. Then we'll be heading out to Chicago, Illinois, Buffalo, New York. All 3 of those camps, though, you guys, are completely sold out. But then we'll be heading out to Atlanta, Georgia. That camp has available spots. Houston, Texas, that has available spots. Then we'll be coming out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That camp is sold out. Then we'll be heading out to Detroit, Michigan, Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. So guys, all of these camps will sell out within probably the next 15, 20 days. So if you want to come out, make sure you take advantage of that. Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you there. Let's get back to this video. Now, if you're an underclassman, the second thing that you could do to start on varsity is to exert that you have some type of leadership, right? I think the worry with coaches, with younger guys, is that they maybe don't have as high of a maturity level. They're not going to be a leader. They're not going to be a leader in the locker room. So you want to approach the locker room as like a thermostat versus a thermometer leader. So think about what a thermometer does. It tells you the temperature of the room already, right? If the room's 80 degrees, it'll tell you that it's 80 degrees. But what does a thermostat do? That sets the temperature of the room. So you need to be a thermostat leader. And that doesn't mean as an underclassman, you're bossing around the older guys, telling them what to do, telling them how to act. You lead by example. You show up every day. You actually legit, everybody says this, but you actually are one of the first people in the room. You actually are one of the last people to leave. You stay after practice and put in the extra time. Because all those things will show your teammates that you're actually really about it, and they'll try to be like you. If they see you're getting notoriety from different coaches are moving you up on the depth chart, that can elevate the play of the team. And coaches, especially if you're in a quarterback position or a leadership position, coaches want guys who elevate the skill of everybody in the room. Now, tip number 3 to help you start on varsity is, first and foremost, know your playbook and try to join spring ball with the varsity team that you were trying to play on. So let's say, for example, you're an 8th grader, right? Let's say you're an incoming freshman. You want to play on varsity. You have a legitimate chance to play on varsity, but you're not sure what you can do. I would immediately reach out to your high school offensive coordinator, head coach, defensive coordinator, maybe all 3, and ask them if you could get your hands on the playbook, be added to Huddle. If you guys aren't familiar with Huddle, Huddle is what different teams will use for their film. So Huddle is like every single practice usually is recorded. Obviously, every single game is recorded to make highlight tapes, to watch the practice, to learn. If you can get added to the Huddle, they just have to make a simple account and give your email address access to that account. But you could watch all their film. They usually have their playbook uploaded on there, so you can get ahead of things rather than having to learn it all when June and the summer workouts come across. Now, you want to ask them, obviously, to be able to join spring ball as well. So worst case scenario, they say no. Hey, we don't let any freshmen come to our spring ball. You're not enrolled, but at least they know your name. At least they know you're actually about the work and you want to be around the team. Now, let's say they say yes. Then you're going to be practicing with varsity, and you could obviously earn play time by performing well, knowing your assignments, and executing what you need to execute. So I highly recommend reaching out to your high school coaches, ask them about spring ball, and getting added to the Huddle so you could learn the playbook as soon as possible. Now, tip number 4 in the offseason that you can do to start on varsity is get bigger. I think one of the obviously worries of a high school head coach starting a freshman, starting an underclassman, he's not as developed, he doesn't have as much muscle mass, he's not as big as some of the seniors and juniors that he've already had in his program who have been lifting and working their tail off, right? So a very easy thing that you could do is increase your protein consumption. So many athletes do not consume enough protein on a day-to-day basis to help their muscles recover, to help their muscles grow. You could be killing yourself in the gym, but your protein intake could be low and you're not giving your muscles the nutrients they need to recover quickly and to recover so you can attack the next workout and continue to progress in the off season. So what I recommend is trying to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. So let's say you're 160 pounds, you want to get to 175. Try to consume 175 grams of protein. Now, some people think that that's a tough thing to do, but if you have a protein powder or you're taking some type of protein supplement, that can be very easy to do. You don't have to just supplement. You get all your protein from food, but taking a protein powder is a very easy way to hit that that daily dosage. Now, if you guys would like a great protein powder that I personally designed, this is a company that I own called AG Labs, own this company with my brother, and we made it specifically for athletes to help them with their nutrition and their fitness goals in the off season. So this is our salted caramel whey protein, very easy on the stomach, and 30 grams of protein per serving. So guys, check out that second link in the description below. If you want to get our whey protein powder, I get you 15% off too. If you use the promo code FIRST15, that will give you 15% off at checkout. So guys, second link in that description below for this protein powder to help you start on varsity. Now, tip number 5 is that there is no excuse to not be the hardest worker in the room. So what does that exactly mean? If you're an underclassman, you have something to prove. There are juniors, there are seniors there that have been there, they know the playbook, they've been involved with the program. You have to outwork them every single day. When they are doing exercise in the gym, you need to be pushing yourself harder. When they are doing 6 reps, you need to be doing 8 reps. When they're getting to workouts 15 minutes before it starts, you need to get there 20 minutes before it starts. Because if you can consistently show up and consistently do those little details better than the guys that you're competing with, that's an easy way that you get a leg up on them in the coach's eyes. I'll give you a personal story. Like, there was a guy who, back when I coached receivers in high school, right? He was not an underclassman, he was going into his senior year, but he hadn't played, right? And he really wanted to play on varsity. He was a little undersized, and we told him we had an opening at slot receiver, and it was up to him and what he did in the offseason to be able to perform, right? And so this guy on the field did everything correct. He knew all of his assignments, knew all his signals, knew all his plays, did everything right. But when it came to the gym, that dude wouldn't pick up a single weight. So I would watch him, right? I mean, because when it came down to it, my ass is on the line for who decides who plays and who doesn't, because the head coach asked me, who are your starters? And I'm going to give him a list of starters. And if he's one of those guys and he can't cut it, that makes me look really bad. It's not even the kid's fault. It's my fault as a coach. So what I would do is I would pay attention to what he would do in the gym. And he wouldn't lift a single weight. He would do maybe push-ups, sit-ups, but he wasn't doing all of the little things, and he wasn't being consistent in all aspects of the position in order to start. So you have to do all the little things in the classroom, on the field, and in the gym to win that starting job.